We've all seen how powerful large language models are, but you've probably also noticed a couple of pretty big flaws. Sometimes they're just confidently wrong, they invent things, and often their knowledge is completely stuck in the past.
So that leads to the big question, doesn't it? How can we make these incredibly powerful AIs both accurate and up to date? How do we connect them to the real, current world?
Well, that's what we're going to cover. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly how to give an AI an open book exam for any question you throw at it.
Okay, so to really grasp the solution, let's first build a solid intuition for the problem it solves.
A really great analogy is to think of a language model as a super enthusiastic new hire. You know, the type, brilliant, eager to please, and they will answer every single question with just unshakable confidence, even if they have no idea what they're talking about. Now, this star employee has two major problems. First, their knowledge is out of date because it's based on whatever they learned during their initial training months ago. And second, when they don't know something, they just invent an answer. In the AI world, we call this hallucination.
You could put this employee through constant, expensive retraining, but that's slow and inefficient. A much smarter approach, give them access to a library full of the latest, most trusted company documents. And make it a rule, before you answer, you have to look it up first.
And that right there is the core idea behind Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG. It's an architecture that connects a language model to an external, up-to-date knowledge base. So instead of just guessing, it grounds its answers in actual, verifiable facts.
Now, it's really important not to confuse RAG with another technique called fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is like sending our employee back to college. It actually changes their internal knowledge and it's great for teaching a new skill. But it's expensive. RAG is that open book exam. It's a much cheaper way to give them the right facts for the job, and that's what really cuts down on this hallucination.
All right, so that's the core idea, the what and the why. Now let's peel back a layer and see how this actually works under the hood.
The whole RAG flow is actually pretty straightforward. It happens in 3 steps. First, when you ask a question, the system retrieves relevant documents from that external library. Second, it augments your original question by stuffing that new information right into the prompt. And third, it hands that new supercharged prompt to the language model to generate an answer.
Okay, but that first step is the magic one, isn't it? The retrieval part. How does the system know which documents are relevant to your question? Well, the key technology here is something called vector embeddings.
Here's the intuition. Vector embeddings turn words and sentences into numbers, basically coordinates on a map. On this map, things with similar meanings are placed close together. So finding a relevant document is as simple as finding the text whose coordinates are nearest to your question's coordinates. It's a search for meaning, not just a search for keywords.
And this isn't just a cool research idea. This architecture is already out there in the wild, solving some really practical problems.
You see RAG powering those helpful customer support chatbots that always know the latest company policy. It's the engine behind internal search tools that let employees ask questions about thousands of documents. And it's absolutely essential for research tools in finance or medicine, where getting the facts right is critical.
So the benefits are pretty clear. You give the model access to current data, and you drastically reduce the chance it'll make things up. But the biggest win here, it's all about building user trust.
And how does it build that trust? Simple. Citations. Because the system knows exactly which documents it pulled information from, it can show you its sources. You don't have to just take the AI's word for it anymore. You can actually check the facts for yourself. And that is a game changer for reliability.
All right, let's bring it all together with the one key takeaway.
If you remember just one thing, let it be this. RAG makes a language model more accurate by changing the information it sees, not by changing the model itself. It's about better context, not more training.
Is a really powerful and flexible approach. So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Now that you know how to give an AI its own specialized library, what's the first problem you'd want to solve with it?